With employment benefits drying up shortly, we are getting answers for all of you who will be looking for a new job. We want you to text your questions to the number on the bottom of the screen so that we can ask them for you, 379-5775. Again, this is a text. Please do not call. We've got Blanca Cobb here, our body language expert, and Damian Burkle, the founder of Professionals in Transition. All right, Blanca, let's start with you. What type of body language signals will employers be looking for on this Zoom interview, which just seems awkward very often?
Yes, it is, because you don't really have a lot of space. But interviewers, what they're going to be looking for is to see if you're relaxed and to see if you're confident. So relaxation, are your shoulders relaxed? Are you playing with your fingers? Are you fidgeting? The same types of behaviors I would be looking for in a real life interview. Also distance. Are you getting up really, really close to the camera, which is more informal than with friends, or are you maintaining a distance just like you would in a real life interview? And in terms of stress, they're going to see, are you biting down? What are you doing with your chin? And what are you doing with your lips and biting down on your teeth? Those kinds of signs are going to be paying attention to. Confidence. Is your head up? Are your shoulders back? And are you looking into the camera and not around like I am right now all over the screen?
Ah, yes, the looking all around because it is a TV screen. Okay. Damian, somebody is asking, should I use color in my resume or is it better to leave it standard black and white?
No, much better to leave it black and white because you don't know how it's going to be received on the other end. Most people have a black and white laser printer, so it's going to be lost when it's printed anyways.
So let's talk about cover letters and resumes, because people are always thinking that there's some magic word that needs to be in there. And you've got a trick before you write the cover letter and the resume for people to know what the magic words are. And so as we look at that, they say what you need to do is read the job description, put the keywords they use on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, use your job experience with those words. Now you weave them into the letter using those key words.
That's right. You have an introductory paragraph or two. The last sentence is, I feel particularly qualified for this position because, and on the left-hand side, it's a 2-column insert in a Word document. First column is your requirements, and you literally copy all of the requirements and dump it into that column. And then in the second column, my abilities, you match it. And if the words are the same, I would keep them the same. Those are the magic keywords that you are looking for. Because if you think about it, an employer is going to use words to find people, and those words are the words of the job description. So if you take the time to match those keywords, you will have 100% of the keywords 100% of the time.
Okay. Blanca, back to the interview. They say, what happens if they call me for an in-person interview? Would it be considered rude if we don't shake hands? And how do I say no thanks without being rude?
It is very polite and respectful to not shake hands. Why? Because we're trying to stop the spread of the coronavirus. So what you could say is make sure you're friendly, whatever it is that you do say, and you want to smile and say, hey, I would love to shake your hands, but I think let's keep both of us safe. Let's do this, whatever, with the elbow, or, pretend high five or something. Or you can just put your hands out. Just say, hey, it's so nice to meet you. Just other ways to liven it up a little bit and still be respectful.
Someone is asking, is there a certain type of framing I should do in my Zoom interview? And I think that both of you have the framing correct. So Blanca, would you want to just tweak that a little bit for me and tell me if there's any other requirements that I'm not seeing here?
Well, you do want to make sure that you're centered. It's very different. I'm going to move off to the side here. It's a very different impression if I'm off to either side versus if I'm straight and center. Think about how you look. When you see something, you're looking center mass, straight ahead of you. You're not using your peripheral vision. And you're also sending a subtle message of how important you are. If you are in the middle, that does project some confidence instead of just coming to the corner.
This next question, how can I condense a resume for a 61-year-old that has 12 to 15 jobs?
Well, first of all, the most important thing is 95% of all resumes are chronological. And if in fact you had those many jobs, that's why it's okay to have a 2-page resume. The most important part of your resume is your past 10 years. So that's where you're going to have the bulk of your bullet points. And then as you drop down in terms of years, it's perfectly okay to summarize. As a matter of fact, on my resume, most people only care about my experience as a career counselor. So the first, 15 years of interviewer, just another tip.